大家好 and welcome to
White Gaze,
where we white gaze upon the drama,
the looks,
and the language of our newest favorite Chinese television show, Empresses in the Palace, otherwise known as...
Zhen Huan Zhuan.
Yay! Okay, first has the charm. All right, so we are recapping every single episode. Today is episode 4.
I think we should call this one Musk.
The Musk. See, I was gonna have us call it the Chrysanthemum Palace.
Oh, we could, yeah. That also works.
I don't want to see any more chrysanthemums.
So at last episode, we saw that Xia is being punished because she tried to hit one of the girls.
Gave her the deep scarlet.
The scarlet red.
The scarlet red.
Last episode, we couldn't figure out what it was called, but because the notes that we have and the translation on the episode said two different things, but the translation on the episode says the scarlet red.
And Monty knows what this was. Monty watched the episode later, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the Scarlet Red."
Oh, the Scarlet Red, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, so you guys know about this?" And he's like, "Yeah, we know."
Well, they were also so casual about it in the episode. They were just like, "Oh yeah, that'll do."
Yeah. So this is a big thing of culture that we've gotten from the show.
Yeah, and we also saw that they have found Fuzi dead in the well,
and it has left the girls and me shook.
Yeah, they're shook, especially Jen, who saw her in the well.
Yes.
Looking like the Grudge, looking like the Ring.
Yes, and the Empress is definitely keen to figure out what has happened to her.
Mm-hmm. So we pick up exactly where we started off, which that's the thing about this show is like they end you right at a little cliffhanger and they start again right there. So he is there telling Huafei that she is dead, and she's like, "What?" And so she is trying to deflect the blame away from her, and so she's just basically shutting down the conversation. She's like, "So you're blaming it on me?" And he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." And she's like, "Well, listen, she sent you to ask questions. Mm-hmm. I answered the questions. You can ask all the people in my palace, but you will not talk to me about this anymore." And he's like, "Oh, okay, fine." She
got real fierce. And then after he left, what was crazy is she looks at her head eunuch and gives him the eyes like, "Bitch, you better say something." And then the eunuch reminds everybody in the room, "Remember, everybody, we definitely saw Fuzi run off by herself. Mm-hmm. We definitely all saw that happen." Right?
And he kind of has this like kind of look on his face because he's the one that did it, right?
He did it. I think he did it. And
no, we don't think that he did it. We saw him do it.
Well, okay, to be fair, I don't remember
who
their
it was.
Faces.
I don't remember.
We know that somebody did it. I don't know if it's specifically that man or a different man in the palace, but Huafei definitely knows, and this is a big old cover-up.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever it was, we did see her get killed. Yeah,
we witnessed a murder.
Popped her right in the neck.
But back at the palace where Zhen Huan is at, she is not doing well. She has realized that she and her girls have made a big enemy in Huafei, and that Huafei is very vicious. She is afraid of getting into trouble and dragging her family into trouble too.
Yeah, after she saw the way that Huafei reacted to Xia acting up, she's very afraid. And it's just all of these things piling on that she saw that happen to one of the girls. Then she found a dead girl. She's like, we're not we're not safe here.
It is not a safe place. And so she's just being very sickly. She hasn't eaten in a couple days because she's just that shook about it. But outside, she sees one of her maids, Pear, looking at a trail of ants at the Haitong tree plot.
Which, the CGI, like, what year was this made?
2011.
I guess they couldn't hire any good ants.
Because... You know what? Actually, this was when the ants were on union strike.
Yeah?
They were trying to negotiate a better contract for insect workers.
Can you do that in China?
No, I don't believe that. Maybe.
But yeah, that just immediately stuck out to me, the CGI of the ants.
Yes. They were going out of the pot, but not in a straight line. The ants were kind of going in a circle. And so the maid, Payar, who is not educated, is like, wow, that's funny. But then Zhen Huan, who is our Nancy Drew, is like, no, I think there's something there.
They're avoiding something.
Talented, brilliant, incredible.
And so she gets one of her eunuchs to dig it up, and it's a pot. And when they find that buried treasure, literally everybody in the palace is running over to see what is up.
I was scared. I thought it was going to be like a body part or something.
A hand.
There's a thumb in my chili.
And but we're trying to find out what is in the pot. And nobody can open the pot. Jen sort of gets like a garden ornament and like knocks at it like, yep, it's a pot. So they open it, and inside there's like these little sachets, and they're like, oh, it's probably like potpourri, like stuff for you to smell. Mm-hmm. And when they sort of smell the outside, they're like, what's that? It's kind of nice. And then they open it up in the middle,
and it's rotted.
And they're like, get this out of here. Get this away. And when that happens, Jen has a theory. And she says, I need my doctor. Get my doctor here immediately.
Yeah, and then we see Mr. Wen, Dr. Wen, which we haven't seen him since the first episode.
He's the one
that tried to give her the jade pot and tried to marry her.
The jade pot man, yes.
And she's like, no, I can't skip out on this. It's my duty.
Yes. So the Mr. Jade Pot has come back. Oh, and it was so funny because when they sent, who was it, Jade or Vermilion?
Jade.
When they sent Jade to go find him, she goes like, she runs into the office and she's like, oh, I'm so glad that you're on duty. Otherwise, how would we move the story forward? So they bring him in, and he begins and finishes his medical examination by reaching out, touching her wrists, and saying, Miss, you seem very scared.
You seem incredibly scared. And I must say that he looks much better with the hat on.
Yes. When the hat covers the 16 head, you forget it's there.
Yeah.
And so she makes him basically pledge his loyalty again. Because remember, in the beginning, when he gave the Jade Pot, episode 1, he was like, I will be your man. I will treat you right. I will always put you and your family first.
I will protect you for forever.
Yes.
And she's like, well, forever's a long time.
And he's like, but I'm going to do it anyway for you, baby. And she was like, I need to tell you something. And everybody leans in, and she's crying. And everybody's getting so suspicious. And she finally confesses
that she does not want to get fucked by the Emperor.
Oh no.
That's her job.
That is her job.
That's why she's there.
And that is what's giving her anxiety, because she knows that she cannot do the job. And she's afraid not only to do the job. She's afraid if she does the job, Hua Fei is going to kill her. She's afraid if she doesn't do the job, that he's going to kill her. Mm-hmm. And now she's stuck.
Or she's going to end up like Miss Xia up in the...
Yes, they've sent her to the Cold Palace.
The Cold Palace,
because she is paralyzed, cannot move, and according to Hua Fei, is an inconvenience.
We sent her to the Cold Palace because she's inconvenient.
And I think she'll probably just die out there.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see her or hear from her again.
I don't think.
Damn.
Unless one of our girls gets sent to the Cold Palace, and I don't want that to happen.
That poor actress.
Yeah, she was only booked for 3 episodes. And then they were like, you know what? Thank you. Here's your check.
Maybe in real life she got pregnant or something, or something happened.
I think this was in the script. I think when she signed for the role, it was 3 episodes.
Well, yeah, because this is very early in it, so we can't just like be like having
right
dramatic things like that. Dr. Wen, they show him what they found in the pot.
Yes.
And he is shocked. It's this is why I wanted to call the episode Musk, because the translations that we got is that this is musk.
It is a musk. And she thinks that the scent is what caused one of the previous concubines' miscarriages.
Because she lived there.
She used to live there. This was the cursed palace. It's been cursed by her. And she's chilled. She's shook by this scheme that somebody would plant this weapon of witchcraft in the garden to purposely cause bodily harm.
But he does confirm that is what happens, yeah?
Yes.
With this musk, it can cause infertility.
Yes. It is a real thing recorded in the Compendium of Materia Medica. Among its properties, it will excite and weaken the womb, thus harming a woman's pregnancy to cause miscarriage and damaging her fertility in the long run, as the weakened womb can no longer support carrying a fetus to term.
Damn. This might be too early for speculations, but I think that Huafei has put it there. Maybe not Huafei specifically, but it was put there to curse people who live there.
No, I think definitely that is the insinuation. It didn't just fall out of somebody's pocket into the apple tree.
The reason I'm thinking that Huafei put it there is because Huafei also put her there. Because she was in a different palace, and she said, "Oh no, she needs to go out there."
You're right. You are right. You are so right about that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe it was.
And so the two of them kind of come together and make a plot, because she says, not only am I being poisoned by this witchcraft, but also I don't want to fuck the emperor. So can you say that I'm not feeling very well and so I cannot go fuck the emperor?
Yeah, he's like, it should only take 2 weeks, but if you want it to be longer, then it's going to be longer.
Right, because he even says, I don't want you to fuck the emperor either. And so, you know what? There's hope for the Jade Pod, I think.
I think so. I think there was always hope for him. I was rooting for him from the beginning because I resonate with him.
Yes. And you know, you can always tell in the sound design of a TV show when they play like the really romantic music that, okay, something is going to happen there.
Oh, the music was, the music cues were great there. Mm-hmm. And just... eyes filled with tears.
Yes.
It really moved me.
The acting.
Love her.
So, the doctor goes to the Empress and basically presents the doctor's note, says that she has a plague and that she needs to be quarantined.
The plague and she needs to be quarantined. Oh my god.
Her test has come back positive and her QR code is red and she needs to do 14 days home isolation plus 7 days for an extra check.
Okay, side note, listen to this bullshit. Today at work, we're like not allowed to go into the canteen to get our lunch. They're delivering the lunch to the office.
What?
And they do this whenever there's like outbreaks or whatever. Because there's cases in Suzhou. Suzhou, a city in a different province that we do not live in. There's cases in Suzhou. And so they... So we can't eat in the canteen. They have to bring us food to the office.
But you know, they can't guarantee that on your way to the lunchroom, you're going to Suzhou and coming back. There's no way to know.
They are psychotic. They're psychotic. And also, if something happens and you go to the quarantine, they will pay for it. But it's like you do the 2 weeks in the hotel and then the school makes you do 2 weeks at home.
Oh, shit. That's nice, though, that they'll pay for your 2 weeks, because a lot of people will not.
If you travel and it happens, they won't, but... Okay, back to the episode.
Well, actually, why don't we take a break?
Take a break? Okay. Next scene, we see...
In the next scene, we see the Empress asking the Emperor if he wants to choose one of the new girls for the night or go back to Huafei, and the Emperor is quick and says, "Oh, but you would hate that, wouldn't you?" And the Empress is like, "Haha, what do you mean? I'd never influence your decision."
Yeah, but he's like, "Yeah, I've seen her a lot. Let's get a new girl."
And so they bring in the plates. And remember, episode 1, there was 1 tray. Now there's 3.
It was the little shaky eunuch that went and cried afterwards, like, why would he pick a name?
Right.
But yeah, now there's 3. We've got all the new girls to choose from. And the emperor is like, where's Zhen Huan?
Where is my smiling girl?
Smiling girl. What is the translation?
The translation says something like soiree? Soiree?
Concert soiree or something.
Concert soiree.
It looks kind of like soiree or something.
It looks French to me.
Anyways, it's Zhen Huan. And he's like, where's she at? And they're like, oh yeah, she has a plague. She's not.
She's tested positive. She's in 14-day home isolation.
She's mentally ill.
And there's no medicine for that. Which we will discuss later. There's no medicine for mental illness, apparently.
And so he's like, but she's like, yeah, but her friends are fine.
Right. So she's really hyping up the friends.
Shen
Meizhuang and An Lingrong.
An Lingrong, yeah.
Which, okay, I really do need to go on the pod and issue a correction. In the entire first episode of the pod, we falsely claim and pronounce her name as An Lingrong.
What the fuck?
And her name is not that. Her name is An Lingrong. And I would like to issue an apology to Anne and to everybody who was offended.
Did our outline say that, though?
I don't know, but I take full accountability for what sounds my mouth made.
Yeah. Oops.
So we're so sorry.
Sorry, Anne.
White gays. We are Westerners who don't know anything. Okay, we apologize. Anyways, after he selects Shen Meizhuang, the Empress is updating the Emperor on the situation with Xia Dongchun, and is like, okay, by the way, she's paralyzed and she can't move, and it's all Hua Fei's fault. I think her punishment was too much. And then the Emperor's like, well, she deserved it. Anyways,
yeah,
I'm ready for bed.
Everybody's just so chill about this Scarlet Red.
Yes.
I was like, well, yeah.
I said, I think it's more common than we think.
Yeah, he said, we punish violence with violence, so.
Yes, and she's like, okay, well then in other news, I think Fuzi was murdered because things are adding up. And the Emperor's like, yeah, probably. You can continue to investigate if you like.
If you want to.
Yes.
He didn't give a shit. So they go to Shen's to tell her the good news that she is the first one picked out of the new girls.
Congratulations.
Everybody's so excited. The eunuch is so excited. He's like, oh my god, you're the first girl.
He is giggling. Shen Meizhuang's maid gives him a tip, bringing the good news.
Uh-huh. Those chestnuts or balls or whatever they are that they tip with. Did we figure out what that is?
No, we didn't.
We should look into that.
We're going to look that up. But Shen, as excited as she is, she's a little nervous and embarrassed because she's like,
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. How do I prepare?
Yeah, because they're like, you need to get prepared. And she's like, what do I do?
You need to wash up. You need to clean out, girl.
Yeah, they don't got Summer's Eve in the 1700s.
They do not have a shower head attachment. She does not know what to do.
They don't have a stoned enema from Miss Enema Stone.
And so luckily there is another Momo, Leo Momo, to tell her what to do.
Miss Momo helps her.
Would you have liked that your first time?
I kind of did. I have my friend EB. He's like my gay dad. He did not like douche for me, but
Oh my God.
Yeah, he just told me what to like, how to do it. But you know what? For years, I douched with a water bottle. You ever do that?
Don't do it.
Times are tough when you're a young kid and you don't have the budget or the private space.
It wasn't a private space because we were like out of town for cheer competitions and stuff. And we're
my God.
And we're like in hotels and like literally at cheer competitions. And I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom and just like use a water bottle and just like scoot off for a second.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to say that that's outlandish. I think that's common. I think many youngs do that when they have no other choice. But I will say, if you're traveling at a hotel, it's definitely possible.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, whenever I invested in a fucking $3, $4 fucking douche, and then it was fine. I didn't know these things.
we live and we learn.
I'm just like Shen. I'm like, how do I even do this? What do you mean prepare?
Now, just like Shen, were you rolled up like a taquito and carried into bed?
She's ready. Okay, carry her in.
When they brought her...
And they're like running with her. Oh my god, when I saw that, I was so shocked. I was like, oh my god, is this bitch passed out? Is she conscious right now? Did they roofie her?
Oh no.
Is this the Handmaid's Tale? Do they have to roofie the girls to fuck them?
Oh no. I was howling when I saw them run in. Because they're not even walking like calmly. She is shaking.
She's just dead weight.
Or she's doing her best to like plank inside of the fabric.
And he's just chill, perked up on the bed waiting on her.
Yes.
And then she's laying there all wrapped up, and he just reveals her.
Gently reveals her face, and her eyes are closed.
And so there I am still thinking that they have drugged her. But then she opens her eyes and gives a little smile, and
she's like, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, Your Highness. Yeah, it's
and then
too much.
Fade to black.
And then we don't get to see the fucking.
This is not HBO.
No, this is like what's that one called? The CW.
This is the CW, or something else for a more primetime audience.
This is like syndicated. This like still comes on.
Yeah, I think it must.
It does.
Oh, which channel?
I don't know channels.
Okay.
That's just what the girls have told me.
Oh, okay. So it still comes on. We can watch it live as well. What I love though is that when the scene comes back in the next scene, a month has passed, and Shen Meizhuang's maid is telling her, wow, he loves you so much. In the past month, he's come to see you more than any of the other girls, and he's brought all of these lovely chrysanthemums.
Juhua. I know that one.
And she says, 我喜欢菊花. Me too, Shen. Me too. And so they have this whole long conversation about the different types of juhua. There is the Snow White juhua, and then there is the golden tiger. No, the golden dragon juhua.
The golden dragon, yeah.
And so there's also a green juhua.
They've never seen this one before, but they're blooming, and so
they're blooming in new and green.
Okay, so like. One time I sent Trenton this text message, and it was like a screenshot of what somebody had sent me on Grindr, and they were talking about like eating chrysanthemum. And I sent it to him, and I was like, you know what, Baidu Translate like must be fucked up right now. What the fuck is he talking about? And he's like, no, that's what they call assholes. Like
that's really what it is.
Well, because we call it rosebud. Is it the same thing as like a rosebud?
No, because in the English context, rosebud specifically meant is a butthole in a state.
Engorged.
Maybe protruding.
Prolapsed. Not engorged, but prolapsed.
Yes, that is rosebud. Now, juhua is just butthole in general.
Oh, okay.
Puckered, tight.
Puffy.
Okay. Just in its resting form.
Yeah, so this is a great episode because it's all about chrysanthemums.
And so the emperor even comes. The emperor comes to visit her, and they just keep talking about how they love chrysanthemums. Her favorite flower is chrysanthemum. She's got chrysanthemums on her dress. He loves her chrysanthemum in ways.
Mm-hmm.
And he promises to bring her all of the chrysanthemums in the palace. Every single one.
What did she say whenever he was like, why do you like the chrysanthemums? She said that because they're...
Oh, I have it. Give me 1 second.
菊花有气节，可是朕更喜欢菊花独立求风，不与百花争艳，耐得住寂寞，才能想得住长远。
Chrysanthemum is not only known for its perseverance, but also for its solitude from the competitive spring flowers.
Yeah, because she's like, yeah, I love it doesn't do something to like the cold winter. Like she's saying that it's like it'll last through the cold. It's not gonna.
It endures harsh treatment.
Yes, it endures harsh treatment.
They can take a pounding, and that is why I love the chrysanthemum.
Right, me too.
And so he even decides to call her palace the Chrysanthemum Palace.
Yeah,
They're gonna rename it.
He's like, this kind of sounds like a classroom. I don't like it. We're gonna do the palace of the chrysanthemum.
He also tells her, and this is going to come up too later, that he wants her to start helping with the housework, aka becoming head bitch number 1, because the Empress is sickly, according to him, and Huafei is a cunt. And so he thinks that she is beautiful and can take a pounding and can also be more responsible and gentle as a housekeeper.
Yeah, and he likes that she's well read.
Yes. She accidentally reveals that she's read a book.
Yeah, because
he's like, don't worry, reading's good.
It's good.
Reading is fundamental, some would say.
Yeah.
In the next scene, we go back to Zhen Huan's palace, and she is continuing to pretend to be sick. It's been a full month, and I have to tell you, I recognized her face. When she pretends to be sickly and leans up in her bed. Oh. Monty does the same thing. Just that, like, oh, I'm so sick.
You know what? I see it. I can see that.
Monty, I love you if you're listening.
I do. You know what? I'm super dramatic when I'm sick too. So.
Now, unfortunately, her head of house, Jian Qiu, visits for a reconnaissance. Because she's onto it. She kind of understands that it's fake.
And you can see it in her face. She's like, oh, yeah, you're very sick.
Yes.
Sadly, there's no cure for mental illness.
Because she's trying to take the medicine and she, like, spills it out. Because she's like, oh, I'm too sick to have my medicine.
And they're like, she's taking medicine 3 times a day. And she's like, well, honey, medicine's not going to cure your fucked up brain.
这身上的病好得快，可心病呢？
Cut to, we see Qifei, so the woman who was sick in episode 2, who had the son, but then was poor.
Oh,
and
yeah,
got the tea
okay.
from the Empress, right? So she and the Empress are gossiping about the new concubines and about Huafei. And they start to get into some drama about the order of princes. So I guess her son is the third prince, but is still the oldest son, and therefore, I guess, has the right to the throne or something. And so, because of that, it's her job to get the emperor to like her son.
Did I understand it correctly that the first 2 died?
Well, they said that they lost them, so either they died or they just sort of like got lost in the woods.
Yeah, and so she's like starting to get upset. She's like, well, the emperor, like, he doesn't come and visit us. I don't think he likes my son. And she's like, well, you're his mom. Like, that's your fault. If he's fucking around, that's on you.
And so I think, honestly, that the Empress and Qifei are in an alliance against Huafei. And so they're worried that if Huafei were to have a child, that something bad would happen.
I think that Huafei's infertile.
You think?
She's like, stays getting fucked, but where's her baby?
Maybe she swallows.
Okay, well then she's not gonna hold up this head bitch thing for long because it's not if you're a whore, it's if you give me a baby. It's not if you give me that good slurpy.
Well, we find out even later in the episode, though, that the Emperor has not been visiting her recently. he's only been visiting Shen Meizhuang.
Yeah, because her pussy beat up, and he's got this new 17-year-old pussy.
This tight chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hua Fei, we see her walking through the garden, and she's joking with her maid Song Zhi and her concubine Zhou Ninghai. And they see all the chrysanthemums being moved.
She's like, wow, all your chrysanthemums are so beautiful.
Oh, look, they're bringing you a new green chrysanthemum.
She's like, oh, you know what? Y'all stop right there. You don't, if they're kind of heavy, we can just look at them from here.
Right, we're going to go on a walk, and when we come back, you guys can move them. And then the people moving the flowers were like, are you going to tell her?
And he goes over and she's like, so are my chrysanthemums heavy? And he's like, well, they're not yours.
And she said, okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and she makes her maid start slapping herself.
Yes.
Because her maid was the one that made them stop. And so she's like, this is your fault.
Yes. You know what that made me think of? It's sort of like the performative emotion. You know, people think like it's weakness to show your emotion. So like people hire other people, like actors, to cry at a funeral. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
So in South American cultures, what they'll do sometimes is to show that they're sad about something. They will not personally cry at someone's funeral, but they will pay an actor to come to the funeral and cry very loudly and extravagantly.
So it makes other people feel more comfortable, or
no? It's to show that they have the emotion, but they are not weak enough to show the emotion.
Oh, okay.
So that's what this made me think of, because I think Chief Hua Fei is very mad in this moment.
Yeah.
And so she's like, you're going to hit yourself so that I can express my emotion.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Slap yourself because I'm this fucking mad.
And then we cut and we see her sitting in her palace, and she's like, get all these chrysanthemums out of here. I never want to see another chrysanthemum again.
Look, there's one right there. Move it.
it's just sitting right there. What about this one?
So I think now, for all that Zhen Huan is being afraid, I think Shen has to be more afraid at this point.
Shen needs to be afraid because she's coming for her.
Yes, and I'm afraid. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to take a break.
So in the next scene, we see Shen walking to pay her respects to the Empress. I guess they do this every day.
Every day seems like a lot, but at least once a week, I think.
They do it often. We see it in almost every episode.
Yes.
The 4 episodes that we see. And so, why is this in quotation marks? We see a unit in quotation marks accidentally splash water on her. Okay, I didn't catch that, but now that it's in quotation marks, accidentally. Okay. Splashes water on her, and he's like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's fine, but I need to go home and I need to get changed.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of getting changed, it's winter now. So they're all wearing furs.
Oh, the furs are out. The furs are so cute.
And it's these vests that it's like sort of like sleeveless vests that they wear over the dress.
Mm-hmm. And there's the little furs poking out.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the little
hand muffs.
Is this a thing?
Yeah.
You're from Cold. Do you do this?
Yes.
Okay, because I've seen it on like Drag Race when if they've done like a wintry themed one, and like the girls come out with the muffs, and I'm like,
the reason you have that is because, number one, mittens are better than gloves. Ask anybody from a real cold place. Mittens are better than gloves because gloves make it too hard to move your fingers. But if you have mittens, you're just, crab handing it anyways. Mm-hmm. So mittens are preferred. But if you don't want to wear mittens or gloves, you use the muff. Because it is cold, but they stay warm inside. And your hands get very warm very quickly compared to other things.
So you can pull
them out, do something, be on your phone,
and stick them back in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad that they do server function because they are cute.
Immediately, Li Pin is like, wow, Shen, way to show up early today. Oh, wait, you did it. You're late.
Yeah, she's being kind of cunty. These girls are so cunty.
Very. Well, and you know why? It's because Hua Fei has put her up to this. accidentally, bitch, my ass, Hua Fei paid that eunuch to make her late, to set up this whole moment where they could embarrass her in front of the Empress and try to get her punished.
Which, I'm not down for all of this because Hua Fei is always late. What a fucking bitch.
Mm-hmm. And so
I would never survive here because I would pop off on her immediately. I'd be like, bitch, I've been here for 3 weeks and you've been late every single time. Don't fucking come for me. If I'm getting whooped, you're getting your ass whooped too.
Well, and I think that Hua Fei is so powerful, people aren't going to speak up about that. I mean, even Qi Fei, who has a son with the emperor, still pays respects to Hua Fei and is a little bit afraid of her.
Yeah.
I think it's, maybe a lot of them are thinking that on the inside.
Oh, absolutely.
So basically they're talking about all of these punishments, about being like, well, disrespecting the Empress in this way, you should get flogged 30 times.
30 times?
So violent.
It's not even like kinky flogging either.
The Emperor's not doing it himself.
It's not some leather daddy doing it.
No.
Who is doing it? Probably one of the eunuchs.
Probably. And, but then they pretend to be all nicey. And so she's like, but since it's the first time, maybe we should be more lenient and just, not pay her for 2 months.
How are they paid?
I don't know.
Is this like food rations? Because it's like their allowance, but it's like, what you gonna buy?
I don't know. Well, I do think they get money, because they do pass around those, like, ball things.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they also get paid in, like, supplies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they get a direct deposit, but it is, like,
some sort of, like...
Tangible.
Tangible, that's the word.
Yes.
Tangible.
Yes. And then the Empress is like, you know what? Since the New Year's coming up soon, I'll just make it 1 month of no pay. And when I say this is what every HR company does in their office when people are late.
Well, it's supposed to be 3 months, but we're only going to do 1 month just because it's the first time.
Where's my contract? That's not in my contract. So the Empress dismisses everybody, saying, okay, tea is over for today. But says, Hua Fei, you need to stay behind. And she says exactly what you said. She says, Hua Fei, I think it's really interesting that you would embarrass her like that when you're literally late every day.
So Hua Fei is like, well, the emperor says that I need to sleep in sometimes, and so would you rather me go against his wishes?
And the Empress looks at her and says, of course not.
你我同为皇上的人，自然一切以皇上为主。
Bitch.
I wish they could get a little cattier because it's like it is so catty that she is being so civil, but I wish she could just like listen here, you little bitch. I'm the fucking wife.
Right. I mean, literally, there's you can't say shit.
You can't say shit. You think that you are so high and mighty, but you are not, because I am the highest and the mightiest.
Yes, and only death can bring me down, but don't get any ideas.
But don't get crazy.
On her way out, she is passed by the head eunuch, Jiang Fuhai, and he reports the conclusions of their investigation. They have found out that indeed, Fuzi was murdered.
They found bruises on her neck.
And her head. They had the forensic examiner come in and do a full report.
Not bones.
She's like, okay, now you gotta go tell the emperor.
Did he go tell her? Tell him?
I don't remember if we saw that happening.
I don't think we saw that happen, but I think it did happen because they talk about it later, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Later in Hua Fei's palace, they're looking at the records of who the emperor's been fucking. So I guess every day they write down a list in a big book.
Oh yes, with her gold nails, she's being so extra with her hands. She's like, "Bring it here, bring it here,
bring it over, clack,
bring it here,
clack, 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 clack."
She holds it just like so, like loose wrists, and she's like, twice.
He has visited Shen Meizhuang twice, and also Fu Chao Guiren twice in the last 7 days. So that's like the ratio. 2 out of 7 is a lot, especially when Hua Fei's is 0. in the last month, I think.
Yeah. Out of the last 7 visits, it has not been her.
Mm-hmm. So she's kind of losing her edge. She thinks that she needs to do something to remind the girls who's number one.
Mm-hmm. And so she's in charge of housekeeping.
Yes.
And so she brings in
Fucha Guiren.
Oh, that is her name?
That is.
Okay.
Guiren is her title. Like Fancy Lady.
Yes.
Fucha Fancy Lady comes in.
And she's like, well, you need to learn how to write in Mandarin.
Right, because you are a Manchu girl.
You're a Manchu girl. You need to learn how to write in Mandarin. But before you can write in Mandarin, you need to make the ink.
So I want you to stand over there and make the ink by doing something with the sticks in the water until the stick becomes the ink in the water. I'm just going to watch you over here and get my legs massaged, though.
But the little girl, she's just the little tippy tapping her little legs.
Yes. And she's sipping on the tea, being like, is that ink finished yet? I didn't think so. Keep going. Ooh, will you get my feet? Unfortunately, we're back to the boring bits.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily interested in this politics right now, but I think it will create a story that will be interesting later. But right now, I just want to see the girls fight.
Yeah. I mean, we've been really lucky. In the last, I think, 2 episodes, or at least the last episode, we didn't see the boys at all.
Yeah, so we're seeing the Emperor again, and he's talking about...
Something about a war, and his brothers, the 7th brother and the 9th brother, are still out there, I guess. And somebody needs a promotion again.
Okay,
confused.
I'm confused by all this too. We need somebody to come help us with this. But there was some mention about Hua Fei's brother, and so there is lots of politicals going on here.
Right. So her brother is getting promoted. Hua Fei's brother is getting promoted because he's going to go do something about peacemaking in the Northwest Territory. We endure that scene, and we finally go back to Zhen Huan, who is still pretending to be sick, but her sister, Vermilion, comes in and is like...
Jade. That's
Jade.
her sister.
Okay.
Jade's her sister.
Okay, so
Vermilion's a really
Jade
cute
comes
one.
in. So then Jade comes in and is like, Zhen Huan, I'm so sorry. I know that you're sick. Cough, cough. But the servants are being too lazy. Everything's dirty. Nobody's working because they're not afraid of you. Like, you're just sat here being sick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we do? And Jen is like giving up. She's like, well, we can't force them to do anything. I guess like this is my fate here. When they hear someone crying.
Oh yeah, it's one of the eunuchs.
Mm-hmm.
He's crying outside. He's like, well, my brother is really sick and like I can't do anything. And she's like, well, you know what? If you need to go home, you can go home.
Go take a month. Go take a holiday. Do what you need to do to be with your family.
Zhen Huan is the boss that we all need.
Especially at this time. I was just talking about this. I was thinking like, given the reality of COVID-19 and the situation and the fact that many foreigners like us have not seen our families in over 2 years, if not 3 years, because of this pandemic travel shit. Like, why don't these employers get ahead of it and give people lots of time off? Like, knowing that it's an extreme situation, not every year, not every contract, but just a one-time, go be a human with your family situation, and then come back and work for us.
Like a 3 or 4 month thing.
Yes! Like, give us all that time to go be with our families and then return. Like, if everybody agreed to do that together, it really wouldn't be that disruptive. But all these people are afraid to do the right thing, so they're just being like, oh, you wanted to travel and see your family? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
But we're going to fire you if you do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's so nice of her. Just like, yeah, you know what? Go take care of your brother. Go do your thing.
And so, as annoying as it is that she's faking her illness, I do think that she's still the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still rooting for her. But she was really boring this episode. I need her to do something.
Well, the show is named after her, so I think that this will not last.
Okay.
Hopefully. We cut to the Empress. We see her giving the Emperor some soup. I love how he just holds his hand out and she places the spoon into his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like not even looking at her, paying attention to her. Mm-hmm. She's like, I made this yummy soup. Mm-hmm. And he says, it's palatable.
It's palatable. and she's like, oh yeah, and also, by the way, Fuzi was murdered. And he was like,
yeah, she was talking back, so that's what she gets.
And the Empress is like, no, I think it's because Huafei is jealous.
But it was out of her love for me, so I think we're just gonna look over it.
I can't punish that. She just loves me too much.
Gross.
Anyways, do you want to drink some of my soup?
You know what? I bet that soup was good.
I'm sure it was, because she gave up on it too. She was like, hee hee, okay, I forgive her. And that is how the case of Fuzi's murder was closed. No consequences. Nothing wrong.
I'm gonna die if they just are, if that's literally just the end of it.
It is. Literally, they found out what happened and they decided, okay.
Okay.
No worries.
It's fine. Yeah, I didn't die.
Right. Right. But he is still wondering about his smiling girl, Wan Changzai. And the Empress is like, yeah, she's still testing positive. She's still in quarantine. I don't know what to do about the girl.
And they're like, well, if time is what she needs, then we'll give her time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's ready. He wants it. He wanted her. He wanted her first.
The first night. Yeah, he did. And in this last scene, we get this really weird exchange between the workers. So, again,
they got to keep the hats on.
Because they're not wearing the hats in this scene, and he looks insane.
Take your hat off, you bitch. You balding bitch.
Because it goes all the way back.
Oh, God, he's ugly.
It's not a good look. I'm sorry for this man. If you are listening and you're the actor who played him, I know it was just for the role.
But it was ugly.
It was not a good look.
But he's like, this place is cursed.
Yes.
He's like, we are just going down in the ranks. What's his name over there was Shen. He's moving up in the ranks. He keeps moving up. We keep going down. We're not doing shit out here.
Yes.
We need to move on.
So they sort of make a plot to quit. They're going to try to go work for somebody else. Meanwhile, Vermilion goes out to find out where is Zhen Huan's tea. They sent for the tea an hour ago, and it's still not finished.
She's like, well, she's going to have to wait. I have to boil this water. Mm-hmm. And she ain't getting tea today because we didn't get any tea, and so she's going to have hot water today.
And she's like, bitch, I saw you drinking tea yesterday.
And she's like, she said, this is not your home. You cannot be making accusations like this without proof.
And so the girls are about to fight when the Liu Ju, the mistress of the house, like the main maid, comes out and is like, you cannot talk to her that way. You're gonna make her the tea.
If my lady wants tea, give her tea.
Right.
And so she starts whacking that fan at the fire.
Right, she's in a bad mood. And so is Vermilion, and so Vermilion's in a bad mood too as she walks back and she overhears their conversation about wanting to quit. So she throws those doors open.
And she's like, okay, let's make an announcement. Let's congratulate you on your new job. Yeah, we should go tell everybody.
And he says, all right, okay, bitch, fine. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Real cocky. So, he throws on his thing. And he's like, yeah, bitch, fine, I will go tell her.
Goes in there. I can't work here anymore.
Oh, I can't do it.
And then that's the end.
End of episode. That fake ass hoe.
I know. I hope that Zhen Huan is not buying it, and I bet she won't.
Well, and I hope that he does stop working there so they can get someone more loyal.
Well, because she's like, you need to calm down.
Yes.
You need to calm down.
honestly, overall, I would say this episode was kind of like a lull for me.
Yeah, it was alright.
I love the discussion of the chrysanthemums, but I loved the moment where they rolled her up and took her in like a hot and ready gas station burrito.
That, like, freaked me out. I thought they were, like, raping her.
But other than that, like, there's really not much to report on. Do you have any predictions? What will happen?
No, I think that... I hope that Zhen Huan gets better. I know she will. The show's named after her, and we have a lot more episodes. And I want to find out more about Hua Fei's dealings with the... I almost said meth. What the fuck? The musk. The musk in the pot.
The only prediction that I have at this point is I think Shen Meizhuang is about to get it from Hua Fei.
Yeah, probably.
Especially because she kind of got away with it from her splashing water scheme. I think that's not the end of the harassment. But I hope she doesn't die. I hope she doesn't get paralyzed.
Who? Shen?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think she'll be okay.
Okay.
I hope so. So now is the part of the episode or part of the pod where we do a challenge. I'm not as fun as Trenton, and so I have not named my challenge.
Okay. Maybe I can name it. Just describe the challenge.
Okay, so right now, you know, Miss Olympianas is going on.
Ooh, yes.
The Olympics. So whenever they do the opening ceremonies, all of the countries come out in alphabetical order. But Chinese famously does not have an alphabet. And so they are announced in stroke order. So the amount of strokes that they have.
Oh, wow.
And the amount of strokes that they have, and if they have the same amount of strokes, whichever stroke comes first.
I've thought of a perfect name for this game or category of games if we do it in the future. How many strokes does it take to get to the center of the...
Okay, Lil Kim.
Okay, how many strokes? Okay. Luckily for me, I have studied a little bit of writing, so I do kind of know stroke order.
I'm thinking that most of these have maybe different numbers of strokes.
Yes.
So I have 10 countries here.
Oh my gosh.
And
I have to put them in order?
And you have to put them in order.
Okay.
Of how they would be presented at the opening ceremonies in China.
Ah, okay.
So here they are.
Thank
I
you.
think that I chose countries that you would maybe know their name.
All right, so some of these I definitely know. Okay, great. Okay, great. So I know 美国 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 there. Japan is 日本, so 1, 2, 3. This one's a 3. 中国 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. New Zealand is like Shin. So this is 英国. What does that look like? It's like yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Spain is 西班牙. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm going to give you a hint. If you have any knowledge about the Olympics, one of these you do not need to know the name or the strokes.
No, I mean, okay. I have no idea what that means.
Okay.
Oh! Because this one is end, China goes last.
No.
No. Okay, then no, I don't know. Okay, so the countries that I don't know the Hansa for, I don't know New Zealand. No, I don't know Brazil or Greece.
You don't need to know Greece.
Okay, why? Because Greece always goes first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you for that hint. Okay, so Greece goes first. Now, Hanguo, I'm gonna say is like towards the end. Shinda, it's like the new. Shin Sealand is New Zealand, but is it Shin, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, this one's 13. This is Han, but it's like the other Han. I'm gonna guess that the next one is Japan.
Okay.
Oh no! If the first one for Brazil is Ba, 2, 3, 4, then I'm gonna put Brazil, and then China, and then Spain, and then Mexico, I'm just guessing, and then South Korea, and then Great Britain, then the USA, and then New Zealand. Final answer!
Okay. No.
No?
No.
Fuck! Okay. But are there 2 here and 1 here?
So we have Greece, Japan, China, Brazil, Spain, Great Britain, USA, Korea, South Korea, New Zealand, and Mexico.
Wow.
I almost said New Mexico because it was right after New Zealand.
This brings us to the end of another episode of White Gaze. Make sure that you follow us on social media. You can find me at Officer Trenty.
And me at reverse_cowboy_.
Remember to like our podcast wherever you listen to this podcast and subscribe.
And you can also rate our podcast wherever you listen. 5 stars. If
They
you're
will
gonna-
help.
Exactly what she said. And also leave a comment. You can also send us a message. You can give us corrections. You can give us comments, whatever you think.
Compliments, complaints, the full gamut. And we will see you next time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
再见。